They say everything changes the moment you stop pretending you're fine, and I think tonight might be that moment for me. It was supposed to be casual. Just a Friday night, just drinks after a long, chaotic week at the office. But nothing ever feels just casual when it involves Alec. Not when the way he says my name lingers like the last note of a favorite song, or when his hand brushes mine as he passes me a file and I feel it for hours after. He's my boss. Technically. Creative director of the agency, all clean lines and charcoal suits, smart mouth and sharper instincts. I'm one of the senior copywriters, quiet, observant, reliable. I write the words that sell dreams while living my own a safe arm's length away. We've worked together for almost 2 years. Close enough to have a rhythm. Close enough that he can finish my sentences in pitch meetings. Close enough that I know how he takes his coffee, black, 1 sugar, stirred counterclockwise, and that he always hums under his breath when he's deep in thought. But not close enough to explain why his voice stays in my head when I leave the office. Or why I said yes so quickly when he leaned on my desk this morning, a crooked grin on his face, and said, "Drinks at my place tonight?" His loft is exactly what I expected. Open, modern, full of sleek furniture and dim lighting that makes everything feel cinematic. The skyline stretches wide through floor-to-ceiling windows, and soft music drifts from somewhere I can't see. "You want red or white?" he asks, holding up 2 bottles from his minimalist kitchen. "Red," I say before I can overthink it. "But only if you're joining me." He raises a brow, smirks like I've said something funny, and pours 2 glasses without breaking eye contact. I watch the way his fingers curl around the stem of the glass, how he moves with that effortless ease he always has, like the world turns a little slower just to let him savor it. My heart beats faster, an involuntary reaction I'm tired of pretending I don't feel. This isn't a first date. This isn't a date at all. But the warmth in his voice when he says, "I figured we deserved a break after the chaos this week," and the way he gestures for me to sit beside him on the couch, it all feels intentional. The air between us holds a kind of charge, like something waiting to happen. I take a sip of wine, taste something bold and unfamiliar, and wonder if maybe tonight, something might finally shift. Maybe I'm ready for it too. Alec and I weren't always this familiar. When I first joined the agency, he barely looked at me during meetings. He was all precision, quick to critique, slow to praise. I used to think he didn't like me. But then I caught him reading one of my ad concepts during a lunch break, mouthing the words silently, eyebrows furrowed like he was trying to memorize them. A week later, he left a sticky note on my desk with just 1 word, smart. That was the beginning. Over time, something like camaraderie grew between us. Professional at first, sure, but with edges that softened slowly. He started calling me wordsmith when he liked my pitches, then trouble when he didn't but knew I'd fight for them anyway. I called him boss man, partly to annoy him, partly because it made him roll his eyes in that way that wasn't really irritation at all. And now we're here, sitting side by side on his couch, wine glasses in hand, the city lights painting soft reflections on the hardwood floor. There's a hum of comfort in the silence between us, unspoken things resting just beneath the surface. "You always seem like you've got it together," I say, trying to keep my voice light. "Ever have a day where everything goes to shit?" He laughs, low and rough. "You were there on Wednesday when the client rejected everything, remember?" "Yeah, but you barely flinched. I would have thrown a chair." "Tempting," he says with a smirk. "But then I'd have to explain to HR why I was destroying furniture. You, on the other hand, I'd pay to see that." I laugh, and something in the room shifts, just a little. Not a jolt, more like a quiet settling. The kind that says we've been orbiting this closeness for a while, and neither of us has named it out loud. "Also," he adds, "you're the one who saved our asses in that pitch." "You remember that?" I ask, glancing at him. He turns slightly, his gaze steady on mine. "I remember everything you say in a room. That hangs between us for a beat too long." I look away first, taking another sip of wine even though my glass is nearly empty. Just then, thunder rumbles low in the distance. I glance toward the window. The skyline has blurred slightly, rain smearing across the glass like watercolors. "Shit," I mutter. "I didn't bring an umbrella." Alex stands, crossing the room to check the forecast on his phone. Looks like it's going to pour all night. Well, I say, setting down my glass. Guess I'll wait it out a bit. He looks at me for a moment, then nods slowly. You can crash here if you want. There it is, the small complication. A storm that closes the world outside and leaves us here, in this room, with the weight of whatever we're not saying pressing in closer. Are you sure? I ask, voice quieter now. Yeah. Spare room's a mess, though. You'll have to deal with the world's most uncomfortable pull-out couch. I grin. I've survived client meetings in rooms with no AC. I think I can handle a couch. He chuckles again, and I watch him as he heads down the hallway, grabbing a blanket from a linen closet. The way his shoulders move beneath his t-shirt, the faint scar on his forearm I've never noticed before, every detail feels sharper, like my senses are on high alert. When he hands me the blanket, our fingers brush. Just barely. But the touch jolts through me like static. And I wonder, did he feel it too? He doesn't pull away right away. Neither do I. Then he clears his throat. Let's go. Let me know if you need anything. I nod, but my voice is caught somewhere between my chest and my throat. As he walks away, I realize I've never wanted to close the distance between two people more than I do right now. And I don't know if it's the storm outside or something that's been building for much longer, but something tells me this night isn't going to go the way either of us planned. I lie on Alex's pull-out couch and stare up at the ceiling. It groans slightly every time I shift. The rain's still coming down in steady sheets, slapping against the window in a rhythm that feels too close to the pace of my thoughts. Loud, relentless, impossible to ignore. I can hear Alec moving around his bedroom. Drawers opening and closing. The soft thud of something dropping. My mind plays tricks, imagining him peeling off that fitted black shirt he wore all evening, running a hand through his hair, stretching. I groan and turn over, punching the sad excuse for a pillow he gave me. This was a bad idea. A very, very bad idea. It was easy to pretend I was imagining it. Those little moments in the office, the way his gaze lingered a second too long, or how his voice always softened when it was just the two of us. But here, in his space, with the lights dimmed and everything stripped back, there's nothing to hide behind. Not my desk. Not professionalism. Not witty distance. I close my eyes and try to breathe past it. I should sleep. I should at least try. There's a knock. Quite hesitant. I sit up halfway, pulling the blanket tighter around me. Yeah. Alec peeks around the doorway. He's in sweatpants now, a plain gray tee clinging to him like it was designed to test my willpower. His hair is damp, like he just showered. I smell cedar and soap. He rubs the back of his neck. Didn't realize how loud the storm was. You good? I nod too quickly. Yeah, fine. The couch and I are becoming friends. He gives me a crooked smile. It's kind of a nightmare, huh? Like sleeping on a trampoline made of disappointment. Alec laughs, real and unguarded, and walks into the room. Well, I know it's weird to offer, but if the couch sucks that much, there's space in my bed. My heart stutters. I know he's trying to be kind, casual, but my brain short-circuits at the implication. He sees my hesitation immediately. No pressure, he adds quickly, raising his hands. I just figured, I've shared a bed with worse company. Like Derek from account services at that Denver pitch trip. Guy kicked like a mule. I snort before I can stop myself. Derek does give restless sleeper energy. Exactly. You're a much safer option. Low bar, I mutter, but I'm already pushing the blanket off my legs. You sure? He nods once, and I swear his gaze flicks to my bare arms before he turns away. Come on. It's king-sized. You won't even notice I'm there. That's a lie, and we both know it. His room smells like him. Warm, woodsy, a little like citrus. I perch awkwardly on one side of the mattress, trying to make myself small. Alex slides in beside me and pulls the covers over both of us. For a moment, there's nothing but silence. Our breathing. The distant thunder. Thanks, I murmur into the dark. He hums. You'd do the same for me. And maybe that's the problem. I'd do too much, probably. Anything he asked if I'm being honest. I shift, trying to put more space between us, but my knee brushes his under the blanket. Neither of us moves. I feel him turn his head slightly. You cold? No, I lie. Because that's not why I'm shivering. His voice lowers, softer now. You've been quiet since we sat down. I'm just tired, I say, but it sounds too rehearsed. Alec doesn't push. But I feel him watching me, even in the dark. You ever think, he says slowly, about how different things would be if we met somewhere else? Not at work. Just randomly. Like strangers. His words land like a stone in my chest. I've thought about that more times than I should, I admit. But you're my boss. That line's always there, whether I want it to be or not. He's quiet for a long beat. Sometimes I wish it wasn't. I turn toward him before I can stop myself. Our faces are inches apart now, silhouettes in the soft spill of city lights sneaking past the curtains. His hand moves, just slightly, fingers brushing mine between us. Barely there. Is this okay? He asks. The question cracks something open inside me. Not because of the touch, but because he asked. Because it means he's thinking about it too. About me. Yeah, I whisper. It's okay. Our hands stay touching, just barely, the heat of it enough to keep my pulse thrumming in my ears. I want to say something. I've wanted this for longer than I want to admit. Or you make me feel seen in a way that scares the hell out of me. But the words don't come. So instead, I lie there, with his fingers brushing mine and our knees tangled beneath the blanket. And I let the storm outside mirror the one inside me. Loud, relentless, impossible to ignore. Because something is happening here. Something real. And if I reach for it, everything could change. But maybe I wanted to. I didn't sleep. Not really. I drifted in and out, mind racing, skin prickling with every shift Alec made beside me. At one point during the night, he turned over in his sleep and his arm brushed mine. I lay there, still as a stone, my heart thrumming like a kick drum beneath my ribs. Now it's morning. Early enough that the light outside is still pale and gray, filtered through the cloud cover that remains from last night's storm. I feel Alec shift beside me, a quiet sigh leaving his lips. We're still facing each other. Still close. Too close. I pretend to be asleep, but I know he knows I'm not. You awake, he whispers. I open my eyes slowly, blinking at the soft line of his face in the morning light. His hair's a mess. There's a crease on his cheek from the pillow. He's never looked more human. Yeah, I croak. Sort of. Didn't sleep well? I shake my head, then shrug. Not used to sharing space. He gives me a look, careful, searching. Is it me? No, my voice is immediate. Too immediate. I try again. No, it's not that. It's just everything. Alec rolls onto his back, one arm behind his head. His other hand, the one closer to me, flexes slightly. I watch his fingers move like they want to reach for something but don't quite know how. There's a long silence before he speaks again. I didn't invite you here just because of the rain, you know. My breath catches. He doesn't look at me when he says it. His eyes are fixed on the ceiling, voice barely above a murmur. I figured, I say quietly. You've never invited anyone from work over before. He nods, slow. Because it's usually easier to keep things clean. Simple. And I'm not simple? His lips twitch into the barest hint of a smile. Not even close. I sit up slightly, adjusting the blanket around my waist. So what are we doing, Alec? Because this, last night, sharing a bed. It doesn't feel like something you do casually. He turns to face me again, propped up on one elbow. His expression is serious now, the air between us tense with whatever's been unspoken for months. I don't know, he admits. I didn't plan for this. You weren't part of the plan. That stings, even if I know he didn't mean it like that. He sees it, the flicker across my face, and immediately softens. I mean, I didn't expect to care this much. About you. The words hit harder than they should. I study him, searching for the tell, some sign he's joking or backpedaling. But he just looks at me, open and tired and a little scared. Say it again, I whisper. He swallows. I care about you. And suddenly everything I've been holding back crashes against the inside of my chest like a tidal wave. I've been trying so hard not to fall for you, I say, voice shaking with the weight of months of suppression. Because you're my boss and it's messy, and I didn't want to risk what we already had. But every damn time you smile at me across the meeting table or call me trouble, or look at me like you're doing right now, I lose a little more ground. His eyes don't leave mine. Then stop trying. My breath catches. What? Stop trying not to fall, he says. Because I'm already there. The silence that follows isn't empty, it's full. Heavy with the echoes of things neither of us said sooner. I was scared, he says. I still am. I've never felt like this about someone I work with, and I didn't know how to navigate it without screwing it all up. My throat is tight. You didn't screw anything up. I almost did. His voice drops. I kept waiting for the feeling to go away. Figured it was just a crush. But then you started showing up in my dreams. Then I caught myself staring at your handwriting on meeting notes. And then you laughed during that client dinner last month, and I thought, God, I'd do anything to hear that sound every day. The room feels warmer now. Brighter, even without the sun. My chest aches with something sharp and beautiful. I don't know what happens next, he says. But I want to find out. With you. I reach for him before I think too hard about it. My hand finds his, warm, familiar, and he threads our fingers together like it's the most natural thing in the world. I want that too, I whisper. I'm terrified, but I want it. His smile is small, a little crooked, and devastatingly sincere. We'll figure it out. Together. And then, without another word, he leans in. Slowly. Carefully. Like he's giving me every chance to change my mind. But I don't. Our lips meet softly at first, tentative and questioning. The pause, a breath, and then He deepens the kiss with quiet urgency, his hand lifting to cradle the side of my neck. I feel him exhale against my mouth, like the tension he's been carrying is finally unraveling. I kiss him back with everything I've been holding in, all the quiet moments, the half-finished thoughts, the stolen glances. My hands find his shirt, the fabric soft beneath my fingers. He hums low in his throat, and the sound sends a shiver through me. When we finally pull back, foreheads pressed together, breath mingling, I can't stop smiling. Neither can he. I've wanted to do that since the first time you challenged me in a meeting, he murmurs. And I've wanted to do that since you called me a quiet threat in front of the whole creative team. He laughs, soft and disbelieving. God, we're idiots. Idiots in love, I tease, but the words settle into the air between us with more weight than I expected. He doesn't flinch, doesn't run. Instead, he leans in and kisses me again, slower this time. More sure. More hours. I don't know what the rest of today looks like. Or next week. Or what our coworkers will say. But right now, wrapped in sheets and sunlight and this new, fragile truth, we're exactly where we're supposed to be. The kiss lingers long after it ends. Not just on my lips, but in the quiet warmth between us, the way Alex's thumb keeps brushing slow, lazy circles on the back of my hand. We're still lying close, legs tangled under the blanket, the storm long gone but its aftermath still thick in the air. And in us, everything feels quieter now, lighter, like we've stepped into a space where time doesn't rush, where we're allowed to just be. Alex shifts slightly, his arms still slung across my waist. So, he begins, eyes flicking down to my mouth and back again, didn't hate that. I snort, nudging him with my elbow. Very subtle. Shakespeare would be proud. I try, he murmurs, grinning. I'm a man of many talents. Oh yeah? What else do you do besides kiss your employees and make questionable couch decisions? He laughs, that easy, boyish sound that hits me square in the chest. I also make excellent omelets and panic internally at 3 a.m. over PowerPoint formatting. A true Renaissance man, I say, smiling as I tuck a strand of his hair back. And here I thought you were all mystery and brooding stares. His face softens at the touch. You always saw through that, didn't you? I nod. I think that's what got me into trouble in the first place. He goes quiet then, his fingers stilling against my side. This, us, it's going to be complicated, isn't it? I inhale slowly because yeah, it is. We'll have to be careful. At least for a while, I say. HR rules. Office politics. Gossip. Alec nods. I don't want you to feel like you're risking anything. Your career, your comfort. I'm not, I cut in gently. Not really. What scares me more is pretending like this didn't happen. Like it doesn't matter. His eyes flicker with something vulnerable, something raw. It does matter. More than I can explain. And just like that, the humor fades into something deeper. He's watching me like he's still memorizing the shape of this, the new us. I lean into him, resting my forehead against his. We'll figure it out. Slowly. Carefully. But honestly. His breath catches. I want that. I want you. I'm right here, I whisper. And I'm not going anywhere. He pulls me into a tight hug then, one hand curling around the back of my neck. It's not about passion this time. It's comfort, reassurance, the grounding kind of affection that says I'm in this with you. When we finally separate, I glance over at the window. The sky is lighter now. No rain, just a gray-blue calm. Do you ever think about what people would say? I ask, quieter this time. If they knew. Alec gives a half smile. They'd probably say I'm punching above my weight. Smooth, I say, laughing despite myself. He shrugs. But yeah, people might talk. And I'll be honest, there's a part of me that hates that. Not because I'm ashamed, but because I don't want this to get twisted into something it's not. I nod. Same. He looks at me seriously. But I care more about us than whatever story they think they know. Same, I echo, softer now. We sit in that truth for a moment, the weight of it settling between us in a way that feels safe. Then Alec nudges me gently. So, how do you want your eggs? I blink. Are you seriously offering to make breakfast right now? I promised you an omelet, he says, already shifting to sit up. Besides, we just confessed our feelings and kissed like a couple of rom-com disasters. I figure food is the next logical step. I think I'm still recovering from your punching above my weight comment. Flattery through self-deprecation. It's a trademark. As he gets out of bed and stretches, I watch him move, comfortably, like he's shedding some armor he's worn for too long. And I feel it too, that lightness. Like we're stepping into something uncertain, yes, but something real. I pull the covers tighter around me and smile. Alright, boss. Impress me. He glances over his shoulder with a smirk. Oh, I intend to. And maybe, just maybe, we both already are. The following Monday, I walked into the office with a coffee in one hand and a hurricane in my chest. It wasn't fear, exactly. More like anticipation, like the slow, suspended moment before a roller coaster drops. Alec and I hadn't made any official declarations about what we were now, but we'd spent the weekend tangled in laughter, long conversations, and a kind of gentle intimacy that had rewired something deep inside me. Now, we were back in the world where we weren't just two people waking up beside each other. We were boss and employee. And for the first time, I understood how fragile that boundary had been all along. He was already in his office when I arrived, the door cracked just enough to be intentional. I hovered near the threshold, uncertain for the first time since Friday. Then he looked up. His face, lit by the blue glow of his monitor, broke into a subtle, private smile. The kind meant only for me. Morning, he said. My chest warmed instantly. Hey. He stood, coffee mug in hand, and leaned on the edge of his desk like nothing was different. But there was a softness around his eyes that hadn't been there before. A vulnerability I now knew intimately. We didn't touch. Didn't linger. But something passed between us in that glance. An acknowledgement of everything we were building. Later that afternoon, a meeting wrapped up and everyone filed out. I hung back, pretending to check my notes. Alec caught my eye briefly, then dropped a small yellow sticky note onto the table in front of me before exiting the room without a word. My heart did a small, startled leap. I waited until the room was empty, then flipped it over. Still thinking about your laugh. Dinner tonight? Just us. Underneath, A smiley face with one raised eyebrow. The same stupid face he doodled on my notebook during a budget meeting 3 months ago, the first time I'd ever seen him let his walls down, even a little. I smiled, folding the note neatly and sliding it into my pocket like a secret. That night, over takeout and a shared bottle of wine on his balcony, we finally talked about it. About us. "I'm not used to this," he said quietly, feet bare and stretched beside mine. "Letting someone in like this." "I know," I murmured. "Me either. But I want to try." He looked over at me then, eyes tired but certain. "So do I. Even if it's messy. Even if we have to take it slow." I nudged his foot with mine. "We're both terrible at slow." "Yeah," he chuckled. "But I think we might be good at real." The air was cool, the city alive beneath us in low, pulsing light. I reached across the space and laced my fingers with his, watching the tension leave his shoulders with that one simple gesture. No grand declarations. No fireworks. Just hands. Steady. Intertwined. That night, we didn't sleep tangled together like before. We lay side by side, facing the ceiling, fingers brushing between us. Talking. Laughing. Occasionally silent, just taking in the sound of the other breathing. Before I drifted off, I turned my head and said, "So, this is a thing now." Alec didn't miss a beat. God help us, it really is. We both laughed quietly in the dark. But when he reached over, gently threading our hands together once more, his thumb moving in soft circles on the back of mine, the quiet shifted again, this time into something solid. Something that didn't need to be questioned anymore. I think that's when I knew. We'd spent months walking circles around something that was always right in front of us. And now, having stepped into it fully, awkwardly, honestly, beautifully, there was no going back. And I didn't want to. Whatever happened next, slow steps, cautious glances in hallways, figuring out how to be us in a world we used to keep separate, it didn't scare me anymore. Because I'd seen what was underneath Alec's walls. And he'd seen me. And somehow, against the odds, we'd both chosen to stay. So I let sleep take me, his fingers still curled around mine like a quiet promise. Not an ending. Just the start.